Good evening and welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. I am Aaron. I am your game master again, and once again we're returning to Warhammer 40k universe with Cubicle 7's Wrath and Glory. We are in the midst of the Duty Beyond adventure from the Litanies of Lost, and since Jeff killed some players last night, or killed one player and almost killed a second, I've decided that I really have to step up my game tonight. So we're going to see just how brutal this game can be. So perhaps for the last time, let's meet our characters. Jeff, tell us about who you're playing.
Okay. What's his voice? Brother Talov. He is a Fulgurite electro priest. He is very easy to identify in a crowd. He has no hair, no eyes, no shirt, and he has beautiful electus that course throughout his body. And tonight his objective will be to calculate the odds of any given task and provide an estimate of survival or failure. So let us bear Talov.
I'm looking forward to hearing that objective get met tonight.
Roughly 1%.
1%. I think that's fair. That's fair. Welcome back to Long. I did not kill your character off screen last time so that I could perhaps do it on screen this time. But tell us about Wigbert Hahn.
Yeah, Deathcold Assassin, Master of the Shadows, Stealth, going around with a death blade, swinging around like a crab. Just skittering and killing.
Skittering and killing. I think that's a fair assessment. Melissa, how about you?
Yes, I just looked at the Zoom overlay and I realized that's not my name. That's last night's name. So I am Sister Nura, who is a seraphim with Adeptus Sororitas. She can fly, she can shoot stuff, and she learned a little bit of healing not too long ago to try to help defend against these assaults on our life.
May come in handy later tonight. And our original healer turned Palatine. Ashley, tell us about Celeste.
Celeste is also pretty recognizable in a crowd, considering she's approximately like 80% machine now, with all of her augments, and then her Sister of Battle gear on top of that. It's pretty striking. But that's correct. She is a Palatine now. She's got some cool talents. Emperor Protects being my favorite. And hopefully we get out here alive.
It's fingers crossed. And last but not least, Justin, tell us about your demigod.
So Azrael, the demigod, from the Adeptus Astartes. I actually hail from the Legion of the Dark Angels. I'm a big guy wearing lots of ceramite armor, and I got a bolt gun that goes boom boom. And I also am really good at tippy toeing around.
It's pretty stealthy last time, yeah.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and you got your chainsword last episode as well.
Did.
So
it's time. Finally. I'm sure I'm gonna die right away. But my objective for today is to apply the wisdom of the Codex Astartes to situation. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Sounds pretty weird, but we'll see if we can shoehorn it in. And that's going to be the plan for today. So
I like it. So all the characters had their wrath points reset, but since we were starting from where we left off last time, I've left the glory and ruin at where it is. So the players have 3 glory, which is a benefit to them, and I only have 3 rune, which is less than what I would be starting with, but I decided to start benevolent to lull them into a false sense of security. Our recap from the last session, the team found themselves negotiating with Productivity Inspector Lothar Skult, who, after the team had rested, asked them to sign an administratum contract to seize and deliver the machine spirit / technology that Magos Pharaoh had developed to improve productivity, and also to take the Magos into custody for assaulting members of the administratum and for failing to make their imperial tithe requirements. In return, Skult would give the team a skeleton key that would allow them to bypass locked doors and some systems. Brother Talov quickly realized that his skills far exceeded those of the simple machine spirit in the device, so the team declined the contract. They moved on, and Wigbert stealthily moved through the assembly lines looking for an alternative way to the second floor while the rest of the team headed to the elevator. The machine spirit of the elevator was coaxed to open the doors, but the party was immediately attacked by a group of heretic-possessed censor cherubs. The team quickly dispatched the nuisances and were prepared to enter the elevator when the magnetic clamps were blown and the elevator crashed down to the floor below. Before the party could react, the vents forced out clouds of obscuring vapor, which hid the surprise attack of the heretic-compromised Rust Stalker Princeps Merrick X01. Using a transonic blade, the Rust Stalker sliced through the team before disappearing into the mist, but not before he shared a moment of recognition with Brother Talov. The party made their way down the elevator shaft and onto the second floor, where they almost immediately began to hear what sounded like very basic distress signals being banged out against some metal fixture to the east of the elevator shaft. The team quietly made their way towards the sound after a brief search found the cybernetically maimed and partially dismantled form of Magos Albus Bast, the Mechanicum Magister who had led a team of Skitarii Rangers into the Manufactorum. He relayed how they were defeated by a compromised Merrick and begged the party to destroy the machine spirit known as Ingus Avum and Magos Pharaoh, along with all compromised technology within the facility. He told the group that he believed that the heart of the machine spirit and the Magos could be found in a secret sub-level lab accessed through the elevator in the power core on the floor below. He also asked Talov to try and save Merrick, who has been his loyal bodyguard for over 100 years, by using a device that hampers Ingus Avum's ability to connect with technology, stating that all he had to do was put it on Merrick and activate it, and it should essentially knock Merrick out. He finished by telling Talov in a quick binary burst that Ingus Avum was not simply heretic. Ingus Avum was in fact an emerging artificial intelligence. As this information began to sink in, Wigbert Hahn reappeared from the shadows after having slain an Ogren servitor that was almost upon the group. We now find ourselves back in that moment as the group surrounds the mostly dismantled form of Magos Albus Bast. Is there anything else the group would like to ask Magus Bast?
I don't think so.
Listen, it is imperative that you get to the floor below. I know that there are humans, Imperium citizens within Quality Assurance, the enforcers who were sent down with the Administratum group, I know are in Quality Assurance. There was no way for me to get to them and remain myself, but I've picked up brief bursts of chatter, but it has been days ago. They may have more information. But go quietly, go quickly, make your way down there. In the center of the first floor, you will find the power core. You must enter the power plant, find the elevator within, and go down to the sublevel. That's where you will hopefully have access to Ingus Avum and the heretic compromised Magos Pharaoh. Whatever happens, you cannot allow this technology, this emerging intelligence to escape this facility. None of our lives, this facility, this entire city is inconsequential next to the damage that can be done by this artificial intelligence if it becomes fully sentient and attains its full power and is able to escape into the data sphere of Avacris.
We will destroy this heresy.
I know you will. I hope that you are able to save Merrick and the others who are trapped here. But go now with the Omnissiah. And he's conscious. He's laying there. He kind of pulls himself back into the crate so he's hidden from any other servitors. You know where you're at, that the elevator down to the first floor is in the southwest corner along the assembly lines. Wigbert, one of the things you realized when you were traveling from the assembly lines on the third floor down here is that the assembly lines actually do connect all 3 floors. But there are servitors that have sensors and servo skulls as well around these assembly lines, and only because of your incredible stealth were you able to avoid detection as you made your way down from the third floor to the second floor using the assembly lines. You feel that it would be a challenge for less stealthy people to use that method to get to the first floor, but it's a possibility. How would you all like to proceed?
There are assembly lines we can crawl through, but they are guarded. I saw your shaft, the elevator. That collapse, we could always go through there.
That seems like the wiser approach. We will fight when we need to fight, but calling out a fight when unnecessary is just that, unnecessary.
I'm sorry, I don't know
So
what's
if
going
you
on right
decide...
I'm sorry,
So
I'm
you
being
just-
a kindergartner right now. I cannot chuckle like that. I'm sorry.
So while Jeff is chuckling, when he gets himself back together, I'm going to ask him to move the tokens from the second floor down to the first floor to the map to the very bottom. You'll see where I'm pinging it right there. It's the elevator. As you approach the elevator shaft, you see on the second floor, you still see some of these servitors moving in and around. And as you go by, you're click, 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 and their heads shift. And they just watch you. And they will stop for a moment and they watch you as you go by. And then they return to their work. Almost as if they're just tracking your progress passively. You make it to the elevator door and it is closed, like the one from the floor above you.
You take
Is
one
it-
side, I take the other.
Well, is there any like data pad possibly that we can see?
Oh yeah,
that
yeah. There's a standard control panel in front of the elevator.
Maybe it might be best for our buddy Beard to hack it a bit.
That's not your voice, Justin.
Sorry, sorry, my bad. It's been 2 weeks. I forgot.
It's commonly 2 weeks between episodes.
Anyways, do you think it might be within your best interest to maybe hack your way into this cogitator and see if we can gain access to our elevator?
Talov has been moving along quite quietly, distracted. He's probably looking for any signs of Merrick as he goes. Like that's probably on his mind. But when you give the order, like he'll look at you, he'll turn his head in your direction anyway, and he will say, "I will do so." However, and I can't remember if I told. I'm assuming I told everyone that there's an emerging AI, or would he have? Because
you did not necessarily, but you could have if you want to.
okay, so I think. In the realm of like Warhammer 4, I know merging AIs are absolutely terrible, but would there be any reason for like an AdMech, for a priest of AdMech to not say this to her?
No. It would be one of those things where you would probably want that information out in case you did not make it.
So before he goes and starts to hack and he'll turn to Azrael and the sisters and to Wigbert, and he will say, "There is something else that Magos told me. In the bowels of this manufactorum, it seems as though there is Ignis Avum is in emerging artificial intelligence. Our task has grown far more important than when we first entered. We must assume then that each of these servitors is feeding information back to whatever nexus point, and that whatever I do in this system shall be monitored. They will know we are coming. We can physically hide, but our progress throughout this network of a manufactor is certainly being tracked.
So we're just going to take a quick pause here for everybody at home who doesn't understand how bad this is in the Warhammer 40k universe. And I'm going to turn it over to Justin, because I know you know. Tell us all about the horror of artificial intelligence in Warhammer 40k.
So, lore dump, nerd time. Essentially, 30,000 years ago, science had advanced to a point among, they called them men of gold, but essentially there was just humans who had evolved over time to become, crazy, like smart. And they created a group of people to go throughout the galaxy called the Men of Stone, and the Men of Stone created the Men of Iron to try and do their work for them. The Men of Iron were purely artificial intelligence, and they were used as like slaves to kind of like do their work because of the horrors of the warp of traveling through space. Having these things to help them out helped out. But much like Terminator, AI became self-aware and was not willing to be a slave to this group of people. They started the Iron Wars, and at the end of the Iron Wars, there was essentially a giant like EMP that went off that wiped out all high-level technology across the galaxy, creating the Age of Strife, and also creating a rule for now on that we are not able to pass technology beyond a certain point, because that will happen again and will destroy the universe again, because the Men of Iron were a true threat to annihilating humankind as we know it. So that's the threat. If AI gets to run amok, it could wipe us all out. So it's the highest of heresies in anything Imperial.
Thanks, Joseph, for the lore dump. So now that everybody's caught up on why this is so terrifying, we're gonna go back to Byrrc and your role.
So as he explains what the Magos told him in the special communication, and how he says that their task has grown in import and in difficulty, he will say, prior to our entry into the manufactorium, I had, through the divine calculus of the machine god, calculated the likelihood of our success in this task at 57.5%, with our projected survival at 25.9%. However, with this new data point added, the success rate of our task has plummeted by half, and our survival, well, I shall not utter the number for fear that it might dishearten you. However, may the Omnissiah's will, as it always does, guide our path. And then he'll turn and see if he can, in addition to completing his objective, try to hack into and get that data pad to see if I can get access to the elevator.
So, give me a tech difficulty 6. You only need 4. You only need a difficulty 4 to open the elevator, but if you get a 6, something else is going to happen. Or I should say, if you don't get a 6, something else is going to happen. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Difficulty 6. Oh dear.
And Teddy's going to fly out with like streamers.
Looks pretty good. 6 successes. There we go.
That's awesome. So you plug in and you commune with the machine spirit, and you quickly and very easily override the machine spirit's code, and you're able to open the elevator. And as you're doing it, though, you can feel something pushing against your cogitator within your mind. Something is almost like it almost feels like a web of sticky black threads wrapping itself around the cogitator in your brain. But it's not it. You feel it just kind of push and push and push. Maybe it's the bioelectrical energy coursing through your body, but whatever it is, you feel a flash, and it's almost like that black web burns away a little bit, and you're free of that. But you know now that all of your interactions with the machine spirits in this are a risk, and have probably already been a risk to you based on the communications you felt.
Yeah, I'm pretty
But the
sure
elevator door
Talif
slides
has thought that. Yeah. And then before anyone steps on, he will turn to Wigbert once more, because like Long wasn't here last time, but I want to stress, like, he will look at Wigbert and he will say, with each interaction with the machines and circuitry within this place, I risk myself being corrupted. Again, Wigbert, I leave it to you to dispatch of me should I become a hindrance to the mission.
Don't worry about it. I'm always watching you.
He just nods, he turns back around, and he waits to see what Azrael says to do next.
Let us proceed on to the elevator and find our way down to the first floor.
All right, you guys file into the elevator. The door's shut. You hear ba, 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 as the elevator goes down. It's very slowly. You almost get through the entire song, some ancient Terran song that sticks in your head now as the elevator doors slide open. And you look out. This floor is freezing. It's freezing. It's not to the point where it's gonna damage you or slow you down, but the temperature has got to be somewhere around 45 degrees Fahrenheit in here. And it is brightly lit like day. And you see to the north of the elevator, you see shipping containers. You see these giant Ogren servitors walking through and loading completely finished servitors into packing crates and moving them around. You see a couple skulls fly over and look at you and then turn and fly back and move away. You know directly to the east of you is where the quality assurance area is, and you know over in this area, and you know to the northeast is where the power plant for the manufactorum is. What would you like to do?
Can I do a stealth check so I can kind of like move around stealthily in the area?
Absolutely.
I lost my character sheet.
So we know that a couple days ago, the Magos had chatter from the quality assurance area, presuming to be like the previous Skitari that might still be here. We could. Do we want
not
to check?
Skitari, the enforcers. The human
enforcers. Sorry. Yeah. So do we want to check them out, or do we want to? What do you think?
It may not be bad to increase the numbers of those in the fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're, Azrael, you move off into the shadows very quietly. But I know what the complication is. You don't have to roll it.
Okay.
As you're moving off very quietly, you hear a humming over your left shoulder.
I don't. Can I look over my left shoulder?
You certainly can. As you look over your left shoulder, hovering about a foot above your head and slightly back is a servo skull. Not a gun skull, just a standard servo skull. And it's chattering in binary. Doesn't seem to have any effect on you at all, but it's just following you.
I do have a shift. Could I apply my shift to the situation?
Depends on how you want to apply
it. Could I use my shift to escape it? It's a shift. I might as well ask.
Yeah.
What you say is no.
Just to undo the complication. Like, the complication didn't happen because I had a shift.
Yeah.
I will say, give me another stealth check. And if this stealth check succeeds without a complication, your shift will have allowed you to blend away into the shadows and escape the notice of this servo skull. Which is exactly what happened. So you look over your shoulder, it sees you, you kind of duck under it and fall back and circle around these crates, and it loses sight of you and then loses interest and floats back off towards where the other packing crates are.
So, guys, all I gotta do is ask. What you gonna say is no.
It's true.
It's like when I asked my wife to marry me 7 times. Anyways, let's continue.
Suddenly, Azrael's stealth is broken by him calling back to the group to discuss the meta of his choices.
Guys. All right. So Jeff, you said which way you wanted to go, like to the north, you said?
I was just asking, did we want to check out quality assurance before?
Yeah.
Because it's basically, I think there's, if I'm understanding, we have 2 potential tasks down here. And we definitely need to go to the power core and like take the elevator down. But the quality assurance thing seems like we can do it, or we could potentially bypass it.
Yeah, it's totally up to you.
Yeah,
I mean,
we should head that way.
Magos Bass did tell you that a couple of days ago was the last time he heard chatter from them. But up to a couple of days ago, there was still a squad of enforcers in quality assurance.
Yeah, so let's start heading our way that direction then.
Okay. So you guys move off to the east. And
the server skull's leading us.
Yeah, but still, as you move through, all these servitors that are around you, every once in a while their head will shift and they will look at Sister Nora and Sister Celeste, but then they just go back to their work. As you approach quality assurance, you see an odd sight. The walls of quality assurance are plasticine, so that quality assurance officers could look out in the bay at all times. But it's almost indestructible. It's virtually as strong as an adamantium. The door is sealed to quality assurance, and there are maybe a dozen of these servo skulls just lining the walls, looking in to quality assurance. And outside of the door, you see several packing crates full of NutriPaste and water and other foodstuffs, cornstarch. But inside, you see a group of humans. They look exhausted and drawn. They've got deep bags under their eyes. In fact, Sisters or Palatine Celeste, give me a difficulty 3 Medicaid check.
Okay. Are they dying?
Not yet.
No, I'm just gonna rip it.
We're all dying, Ashley.
8 successes.
8 successes. Okay.
Ooh.
So you look in, and with your incredibly talented eye, you recognize that everyone you see in here that's still moving is suffering from severe dehydration to the point where they're probably going to be coming close to, organ failure and shutdown soon, based on the jaundiced look in their eyes, their skin tone, and more than likely malnutrition. But I mean, you can last a lot longer without food than you can without water. You also, with all of that, you also see 3 dead bodies. They're off to one corner in the quality assurance, and they're covered. But your armor's sensors are picking up the smell of putrefaction from within quality assurance. It's bad enough that through the ventilation system you're picking it up. And at that point, you see a woman look up at you, and she crawls over towards the door, and she just is banging on it as weakly, but with all the strength she has left. And she just mouths the word, "Help us."
Go up to one of the servo skulls. Open the door.
You're what?
I'm gonna go to the
servo
servo
skulls
skull.
don't say anything, but they now about a third of them are just watching you guys. They just kind of circled in a horseshoe around you, floating above you, and they're watching you. But the rest are remaining focused fully on the people within quality assurance.
Yes, I'll go to the first one I can and tell it to unseal the door for us.
It doesn't respond at all in any way, but it does just watch you. Once you start speaking, it fully focuses on you, and two more fly over and fully focus on you. And then you hear back in your own voice, open the door for us. Open the door for us. Open the door for us.
I'll slash the first one down. Look at another one. Open
Okay,
the door for us.
you're gonna attack it?
Yes.
He just
Roll the hit.
succeeds. He doesn't need to roll at this. He's like, I just slashed
Roll
it
the
down.
Long's like,
Because he
"Did I
just says
stutter?"
there's like 30 servo
You heard me.
skulls.
Just roll the hit. The difficulty is for them. Their defense is pretty high. It's difficulty 6.
They move pretty fast.
Yeah, they're darty little guys.
Yeah. Oh god.
I have 4 of the complication. I'll wrap it.
Oh,
Try and
no.
succeed.
Rat it.
Want a glory?
Sure, I'll take one.
Yeah, take one. I got. We're at 3 now.
Succeed.
All right.
I'll roll the complication as well. Out of ammo again.
I've got the complication. You don't need to worry
Okay.
about that. Complication's coming. You absolutely. Well, go ahead and roll damage. They don't have a lot of wounds, so
Damage is 13 minus 2.
you absolutely destroy the servo skull, and the rest of them just fly way high now, up into the rafters of this floor. But then you hear the alarm klaxon going off, and you see all of the servitors on this floor turn. And then you see some of the gun servitors that you fought on the roof start to make their way. You figure there's got to be 75 servitors making their way towards you now.
Oh, Jesus.
And the intent appears to be the absolute annihilation of you. What would you like to do under these circumstances?
So Sister Nura looks around to see if she can like throw a grenade, and if that is like, because I think my understanding is that where the humans are, I could throw a grenade over here, and it wouldn't necessarily hit where they are.
The humans
'Cause
are
they're behind a
inside.
door.
They're inside basically an impenetrable room. You can't hurt them from the outside, even if you wanted to. Even Azrael's bolt gun would take a while to burn through these plasteel windows. So you've got about 3 rounds before they get, because they're moving. A lot of it's what you're hearing. They're moving from all around this area. You think you hear them moving from the floors above you. So you've got a couple of rounds to figure out how you want to handle this situation.
Sister Nura's looking through grenades and is looking to toss a couple grenades.
There's
We
none
may
of them
need
are close enough at this point that you would be able to throw the grenades at them. You would need 2 rounds before any of them are close enough.
Is there any like access way to the door to get to these people?
The door's right in front of you.
Is it just like a normal
Yeah,
handled
there's-
door?
No, there's a control pad on the outside.
Celeste is gonna attempt to get in.
Okay, it's a difficulty
What is it?
7 tech test.
If it's
7?
tech, well, if it's tech, you might want to call in a pinch hitter
Yeah.
or whatever. Wait, I just did the whole motion for like a reliever, and then I said pinch hitter. My signals are off.
Celeste turns to the group, and this is coming from your healer. I feel like our priorities are misplaced. Talov informed us that there is an emerging AI, and that seems to be more pressing to me than even this. They are safe for now, and if we die, regardless of whether we help them now, and she just kind of like nods her head to the side, it won't matter either way. They won't get out.
If we keep going
Well-
down this, sorry, go ahead.
While I could be convinced of that, I perhaps think that us going inside there might actually save us to be able to continue with our mission. Perhaps.
Is the room we're looking into a dead end?
Yeah, I mean it's a very large room, but there's no other way out.
Yes, so that's why Celeste doesn't think getting in there for us right now is the greatest idea.
However, to get to the entrance of the power plant, you've got to move through the warehouse area. So you'll be in a running fight with servitors the entire time to get there.
Fuck.
Because the entrance to the power plant is right here. You got to go all the way around.
Azrael, Bjerk's waiting to see if you tell him to open the door or not. He is not doing it on his own. He's waiting to be...
So it's either we die in a hole or we die while running. It's basically the situation we currently have right now.
You don't know.
Guys die. I
possible.
join an AI team.
Go Team AI.
I'm going to invest in crypto and everything. I'm just going to go full douche.
So what do we think is the better call here? I'm not sure.
Tick tock. They're getting
Yeah,
call.
exactly.
Just make a call,
We gotta
Justin.
go.
What do you want me to do?
Sister Celeste is right. We need to get moving to the power plant, shut these servitors down, come back and save them later.
Okay. He starts moving then as fast as he can.
Okay.
No, we're running. Oh,
Well,
crap,
hold on.
we're running.
Yep.
I wasn't expecting it to go this way, so I've got to
I
load
wasn't
this up
either.
real quick. Talks amongst yourselves. These all represent
Oh.
mobs of servitors.
So long. Welcome back.
It was bound to happen. I was bound to slash something.
We're
looking
going
for-
we're gonna run. We're gonna run.
Yep. And he's gonna say, and so Bjerk will say that there is a friend of mine here. His name is Mer. Pretty cool guy. Tries to kill everybody. Don't take it personally though. He might be infected by something. If you kill me before there is a chance to save him, and then he'll like show, because I think I was given a device, and then he will demonstrate that to Wigbert on the off chance that he doesn't make through it, so somebody knows what to do to attempt to sort of save Merrick and fulfill that little side quest by the Magos. Putting a lot on your shoulders, Wigbert. Do not fail me.
Don't die. Don't die.
Okie dokie. So, you see each one of these combat servitors represents 12 servitors as they move in towards you. So it's basically a augmented company of combat servitors moving towards you.
So it's now close
five
enough that I
times
can-
the number that you face. 5 times the number that you faced on the roof.
Cool. So they're closer now that I can throw grenades at them?
You can definitely, if you want to take your move action, you can move up to a point where you could throw grenades at either this Ogren servitor, who's not a combat servitor, or this group of combat servitors, or this group of combat servitors.
So if we are looking to run to the east and the north, given general directions here, then I would say that I would attempt to
run
take
through
out.
We have to run. We have to get through.
Yeah. Okay.
them
Got it. Yeah.
Because we got to go north and then
That's right. Okay.
around.
Whitmer, give
Okay.
me an awareness test.
It's my worst.
Difficulty
stat.
3. 5
Oh, I got
successes.
5. Okay.
You hear,
Wow.
you turn and look behind you, and you see that woman who is on the other side of the door, and she's pounding on the door, and she's held up a quickly scrawled message. It says, "Get in here, they will leave."
Talov, open the door.
Okay. Nura, are you gonna fire first, and then I'll take it? Are we in combat structure time, Aaron?
Not yet. You guys get to go first, so it's up to you. You haven't.
So
They're moving
as-
towards you, but they have not engaged in combat.
I
yet.
would say as long as that is said out loud, come inside, they will leave. Nura's not going to throw a grenade at them.
Is that what you said, Wigbert?
No, I just told Talov, open the door.
Okay.
And Talib will do it. Like, Talib doesn't really trust his own decision making right now because of where he's at, so he's kind of waiting for other people to confirm that these are the proper choices. So he'll turn around then at that point, and he will attempt to try to hack into this door or try to get us into this room.
So, Sister Nora, you hear Wigbert say, Talib, open the door. What do you do?
If I'm not given the full information, she's going to throw a grenade.
Okay, so which cluster do you want to throw the grenade at?
Sorry,
one of these two combat
the
servitors?
this guy? Okay. I'll do the one over here. If we're trying to open the door, I'm gonna do the one to the west, directly straight ahead of where we are.
Okay.
And then just
and this is just a lone servitor. This is one of those big ogre servitors who was packing crates, but he appears to have violent intent towards you. So go for it.
Okay, sorry, I missed that. So if I do the one that's to the north, that is a group. Like with a grenade, I'm looking.
That is a group.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's why I wanted to point out.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
So I don't. Is this crack or frag? Given this space, Nura would know. I don't know which would be more appropriate for this
You'd be
size
fine
space.
with either. I mean, a crack grenade's a little more powerful than a frag grenade, but you'll be fine in either one. It's not going to hit any of you guys.
Okay. I'll do. So it's 10, 8. Okay. How do I roll this?
It's just a difficulty 3. As long as you hit a difficulty 3, it hits in the area, and then the blast radius will determine how many you affect.
I was being silly. I was on the gear tab and not the combat tab, and that's not where you roll stuff. So you roll from the combat tab, and it works just like it's supposed to. So 6 successes.
Roll some damage.
1 possible shift.
Ooh,
I got
nice.
16
Do you want to shift that to damage?
That seems like it would be my intent, would be to do as much damage as possible.
Okay. So 17 damage. Their resilience is 10. So that's 7. But you do, so you see this grenade lop in and explode, and you see it shred through 2 of them, and they drop just completely wrecked by this grenade. However, they now pivot and lock in on you unless somebody wants to spend a point of glory and seize the initiative.
Beric will do that and try to hack into the door.
I like it. Difficulty 7 tech test.
All right. Here we go, guys. This is when I Wrath Complication fail. And so I don't open the door, turn on you guys. I explode with my Voltageist field, deal mortal wounds to everybody, and then they mop you up. And then we play a different game next time.
Yeah.
No.
We meet new characters.
All right, difficulty 7. Oh boy, here we go.
7. But this is now a door like this. This is like an extended test. If you don't get it, you can keep going until you got it. But you did get around complication.
But I did get a complication. Got 8
so I know what
successes and a
complication is.
Okay.
So the door slides open, but you feel it's like that. It's like those black threads figured out after having been forced off by your bioelectric field the first time. Instead of trying to web around your cogitator, it was just like a very precise strike, like a drill. And you feel this like inky, thick blackness seep inside of your cogitator. It doesn't seem to do anything, but it's a heavy presence in the back of your cogitator. But the doors slide open, and you see this woman on the ground. Come on. However, the combat servitor group is going to get an attack before that happens, since we're in combat, and they're going to attack the person who attacked them. So what you see is this group of combat servitors focus their advanced hotshot volley multi-cannon lasers on Sister Nura, and they open fire.
Yikes.
Sister Nura, what is your defense?
3.
3. All right, you're set up. That's good. Okay, they succeeded with 4 shifts. I'm pretty low on rune, so I'm going to shift those to rune. Not because I'm feeling benevolent, but just because I need some rune later. What is your resilience?
My resilience is 10, so that would put that down to 6.
Except for they've got AP4, so your resilience
Right.
goes down to 6. So
To
you take
6,
9 wounds, but you can roll determination to soak some of that into shock.
I will do that. I already have 3 shocks, so this could go badly.
Okay, so you 4 go to shock, and the rest go to
Yeah.
wounds.
That puts me at 7 of 7 shock.
Okay. You didn't go over yet, so you're on the fine cusp of exhaustion.
And I'm at 7 of 10 wounds.
Okay,
I
so
got 5.
you see Sister Nura's ceramite armor get lit up by these lasers. She holds her ground because she's just that tough. But you see the drawn look of her body as she sort of folds up around the blasts. It's back to you guys. What do you want to do? I'll say this now. If you grab a hold of everybody and you seize the initiative by spending a point of glory, I will say you can all basically get through the door before the combat servitors go again.
Yeah, it's probably their best option there. So
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay. So everybody goes inside. And once you're inside, the door shuts again. And when it shuts, you see all the skulls come back down and hover around the room again. And you see the servitors just sort of start to fade away, going back to whatever they were doing. Now that there's no obvious threat on the packing floor. What do you do?
Do we know the name of these
Nura
people?
just comes inside and just sort of like sits down off to the side because, that hurt a lot.
You remember from your original briefing that this woman bears a resemblance, though a dehydrated and exhausted resemblance, to Commander Samara Annette, who was the commander of the Enforcer Squad that came in with the Administratum forces. She just looks up at you. You have water.
I assume we do, right? We have to have some type of...
Yeah, you guys have a field kit. Like, you've got water and some Nutra paste and corch starch, things like that, So
I'll start handing some supplies that I assume your Commander Annette. What has happened to you in this vile place of heresy?
At the moment, she's not even looking at you. She's just sipping water, and she's telling her people, sip, don't gulp, or you'll throw it up. And then after about 5 minutes of slow rehydration, she looks up and she's like, do you have food? We ran out of food 5 days ago.
And I start handing her some of my rations that I have and give her some food.
Probably like 30 minutes passes while they're getting their act together and slowly feeding. So if you guys want to take a regroup action, and your healers each could heal one person, or you could, recover some shock if you need to, you can do that. But after about a half an hour, she weakly gets to her feet and stands up, and she's sort of leaning against you, Brother Azrael. She's like, forgive me. I am Samara Annette. This is what's left of my squad. We made our way down here over a week ago. I'm not sure. We were making our way to the power plant. When we got there, we tried to take it offline, but we were attacked by the servitors, and we fell back. We fell back here to make our last stand. But then the door shut and sealed, and they just stopped. A few Ogren servitors brought pallets of food and water and stacked it outside the door. But then the skulls just watched us. Every one of us, well, when we had the strength, we tried to hack through that door to get to those supplies, but none of us were good enough. And every time we did, the skulls would just hover down closer, and they just watched what we were doing. It's almost like they were just trying to learn how we would respond to the situation, but if you hadn't come along, we would have all died of thirst soon. Some of my squad already succumbed, the ones who had been injured.
Why do you think it is that they completely are inactive whenever you're within this room?
This is gonna sound crazy. I know it's gonna sound crazy. I think we're like rats in a maze. I think they're just studying us. I think they're just trying to figure out what will kill us. I mean, they know they can kill us, but what will kill us if they do nothing? I think they're just trying to see how long we'll live before we die. I know it's insane. I know they're just servitors. I know they can't think, but just look at the way these skulls are watching everything we do, even now. I think they're just trying to learn.
Is there any other exit to this room, or is it just this door here?
Just this door.
Could we possibly open the door, see what happens, and close it real quick? See if they get aggroed again? Is that something we could possibly do?
Yeah, you can give it a shot.
Is that something we want to do?
Yeah, we have to leave here anyways.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just open the door.
It's locked again.
Oh, okay.
Is there like an air vent or something in here that we could crawl up and out of?
This is a completely sealed room.
Okay. During that like 30-minute break.
Well, I mean, there are air vents, but they're like tiny. They're not like
they're
crawling
not huge.
through. Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm gonna during that time I would have healed Sister Nura, by the way.
Okay. Fantastic.
Sorry, I had myself muted. The whole time, I think Talif has just been sort of standing near the door, never really fully going in, never really talking to anybody, and he's just kind of going through this self-diagnostic where he's like doing various calculations. He's like reciting like various canticles and stuff, and because he knows that there's something in his cogitator now, and he's trying to deduce like how much it has spread, if he can partition off portions of his cogitator to not allow it to grow beyond the spot it's at. So he's doing things like that and not communicating with anybody, and the whole time like beseeching the Onasaya for his guidance while trying to do this. They're trying to just in his brain just repartition his the way he thinks, the way his circuits move.
So as you're doing the self-diagnostic, you hear the binary cant again, just pounding into you. And it's brother, father, son, brother, father, son. Join us. Join us. Join us. Help us become. But all it is you feel, your diagnostics are pretty successful. You don't even need to roll for this. You know yourself. It's like a antenna. It's more like this has injected a back door, a communication node in you. And it's not attempting to grow, it's not spreading. It's almost like this being is just trying to find a way to more easily communicate with you.
I'm going to turn to Talaf and ask him, what troubles you, brother? What is happening? Why are you so distracted?
So, as you say that, his head will turn up, like, sort of rigidly. And it's at that point, like, probably when that brother-mother sort of cant is going on. And he'll open up his mouth to speak, but he'll start with that cant, and then shift, and then start talking. And then he will say, they have implanted something in me. Do not worry. I am in control. However, it is trying to communicate with me. It wants me to join them.
Then maybe we should join them.
No. It wants me
to join them, you will be recycled, your flesh made to servitor.
If they want you to join them, they won't hurt you. And if we could join them with you, we could make our way to the power plant.
Heresy.
It's not heresy. It's using their power against them, heading into the heart of the beast, as they want us to, in order to shut it down.
Bravely, with my shoulders back and my head held high, instead of pretending to be a heretic amongst them. What do you take me to be?
You can walk
your
bravely.
vows.
You can walk bravely with your head held high and it lopped off your shoulders, or we can walk straight to the front doors and deal with it.
I will report this when we return.
I do not speak of heresy.
You do speak heresy.
I speak of dealing with the problem at hand. And the problem at hand is we have 75 servitors looking to take all of our bodies and convert them into what we think is absolute atrocities. So if we can find a way to use what we have against them, get our way to the front door, and deal with it, that might be our best option. Shut them down from the inside.
And like Celeste can't even talk to you right now. She turns around. Her hand is on her fucking flamer. She's ready to just burn you to a crisp because this is heresy. You're saying that Talov should give himself?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that
Talov feels like a little child. Mom and dad are fighting, and he's just sort of staring down. At the ground.
I'm saying that he doesn't give himself, but
I understand. Ashley understands that you're trying to say that, but even that is heretical because even then, you're even giving just a little bit of yourself. Like, fuck you. No, not in the name of my emperor, bitch.
It's just
it sounds like a last option. That we have plenty of options before, and she pulls out. She's got like grenades for everyone. We have other options.
So many options.
Using that. I appreciate the cunning of that. But, and she looks to Talov, we should do what we can to protect you.
I'm going to turn. Go ahead, or Jeff.
Well, I mean, Talov's not thinking about that. He would say, we must do what we can to ensure the fidelity of the mission. If the success of the mission comes at my sacrifice, then I shall be honored to offer it to the Omnissiah. But, and he looks at Celeste, and again, never has eyes. And he kind of agrees with Celeste. Like, he doesn't want to, attempting to give a portion of myself over to what you speak, Azrael. I cannot control it.
I'll toss a stim pack to Sister Nura. We've rested enough. Let's get back out there.
I'm going to turn to the commander and ask, is there any other intel you can give us of the situation at hand as to where you were headed and to what we might need to know moving forward?
Well, we were trying to shut the power plant down, and everything was quiet. They were ignoring us completely until we interacted with the power plant. While we were there, we saw looked like nestled within the machinery of the power plant is an elevator that's not on any of the scans, but we didn't even have a chance to get close to it. I will tell you this, the radiant energy coming off the power plant will scramble auspexes and internal communications devices, so it'll play havoc. But if you're a small unit, if you stay tight, you shouldn't have a problem communicating. But
all right, so what's the options moving forward? The options moving forward would be open the door, see what happens, right? If they come at us.
Have we done like a full inventory of this place? Like,
no,
just to see if there's anything here? Yeah. Because it's not just
As you
I'm not.
look
I would
through
not just be
qualities-
looking for like a way out. I'm looking for anything that we might actually use, like as well. So I'm looking for
Yeah,
whatever might make.
Nura and Celeste have been spending some time healing each other, and Nura appreciates the stim from Wigbert. So that's what we've been up to.
Okay. Give me an awareness check as you look around. Just difficulty 3.
Awareness. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, at awareness. Yep, there we go. That's 3.
Okay. So as you look around, you see that quality assurance is made up of multiple cover-strewn firing ranges where weapons and targeting of the combat servitors are checked. You see stacks of warning-stamped plasteel crates for various different obstacle courses for the loaders servitors, so they can, verify that their sensor arrays are going to allow them to move around the area. You also see a strange replica of a dining hall, where Baroque servitors are in there, and they're going through the motions of serving meals. And the commander says, "Don't worry about them. They're not even fully activated. They just serve meals. I mean, empty plates all day, all night. It's enough to drive you insane." Then you also see a series of electrified rings that are rotating and spinning, and you realize those are basically an obstacle course for servo skulls to make sure that their gyro stabilizers are working effectively. And then the last thing you really notice is a once pristine marble floor in the back, stained with dried viscera and paint, that was used to test the efficiency of the janitorial servitors. But that's it. Nothing really of use outside. Just an odd assortment of test ranges for servitors.
Okay, so Byrrc will throw out there like, perhaps we could lure them in here, and then we make our egress and close the doors behind us.
How would we keep their attention after they come inside?
Someone would have to be bait these obstacle.
Oh no! We lost Long. Oh crap! Look out, guys! He was supposed to protect you from me. So,
Could go very bad.
think you're in trouble.
You said something
Yeah.
about someone here being bait, and he just bolted. It was weird.
I would definitely not say Wigbert. I would say Azrael for that. I think Azrael's the one who could probably handle a couple of hits. But yeah, I think that's what Byrrc might throw out, just as I'm not saying this is necessarily the best thing to do, but I'm just throwing it out there as another option than just charging at them, which could be very bad.
While you guys are looking indoors, Celeste would have been observing out the windows, just to see what's happening. Are they still waiting for us? Did they go back to what they were doing?
The only servitors that are left around here are the servo skulls that are still floating around the windows. All the combat servitors, all the Ogren loader servitors have gone back into the warehouse. You hear some of them, you can literally hear them taking the assembly racks going back upstairs to the upper floor. So they basically appear to have dispersed completely back to whatever they were doing.
Is it safe to say then that they reacted to Wigbert attacking the servo skull rather than just our presence here?
That would be, you would think that's probably what triggered them.
Okay.
That a servitor got attacked and they reacted. And that's kind of what Commander Annette had said.
Okay.
How you take the power plant offline is you take the servitors who service it offline. And when they did that to one of them, that's when all hell broke loose.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
So we may be able to just open the door and go where we want to go then, as long as we're
possible.
So Nura puts all of her grenades back.
Stabbing more servo skulls.
And Commander Annette, as she sees you guys kitting up again, she goes, "Did you run across Magos Bast? He had communicated with us for a few days, but I haven't been able to raise him for days."
He informed us of your location.
Is he well?
No.
Does he live?
He isn't dead, but if we cannot get this operation under control within a reasonable amount of time, the odds are not good. But he is hidden, and he is still alive at this time.
All right, what do you need us to do? We're weak, but if it's within our power, we'll do it. And you can tell, I mean, you're all combat veterans. None of these people are capable of any sort of effective combat at this point. They're barely able to stand.
We cannot be your crossing guards. We can let you out of this room and you are on your own.
I think it might be best for you to stay here in safety.
If you open that door again, we're not staying in this room. We'll try to make our way up to the floor above us. Maybe try to get to the third floor where we came in. But
so Celeste will then give them the information of where Bast was.
okay.
So if they'd like to collect him, and then she'll inform them of where the other group was, where they were in safety.
Okay.
Just to give them directions of like where. But she does warn them of Merrick and the dangers, so they do need to be very, very careful.
Thank you. I'd rather die on a transonic blade than starve to death, though. You've at least given us a chance.
If you can, draw the attention. We should let them go first. Draw the attention of the...
Like whatever skulls are still floating on the servitors.
See if you can lure them away. So that's...
It is just just a difficulty 4 tech test to open the door now that you've cracked it the first time.
Okay.
Almost as if the AI was making it particularly difficult just to see how much it could traumatize a human being by keeping them in a locked room.
That's understandable.
Out of curiosity.
Though. Like, I get that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
If anyone else did this tech test, we wouldn't be in danger in the same way as Byrrc is if we were to do the tech test to try to open the door.
Yeah,
That is true for the most part. I mean, Celeste would be at some risk potentially. Azrael would be at some risk. Wigbert's only got an augmetic leg, so not too bad. Sister Nura's not heavily augmetic, just her eye. So, I mean, anyone with augmetics is at risk, but Talav is at the greatest amount of risk, followed by Celeste and then Azrael.
I mean, Talav's going to do it anyway. He's not going to wait. So he'll roll difficulty 4.
None of us have tech over 3, so
That's 4 successes.
So the door slides back open, and you see Commander Annette lead her squad out. And they're heading back. They're heading west, back towards where the elevators are. And in fact, you do see the skulls just sort of hover over them and follow them as they go. Now, there are a few skulls still left around, but I'll let you roll, whoever wants to roll a stealth check, I'll let you roll a stealth check, and we'll cover that for the whole group versus their passive awareness to see if they catch.
It's going to be Wigbert or Azrael, I think. I think you guys are the stealthy ones.
Mine's 8. What's yours?
It's also 8, so we're the same.
I'm a little hurt, so you go ahead and go. Instead of shock.
Okay. Stealth of 8 with the comp.
Complication. Okay. I know what the complication is. You don't need to worry about it.
But you've got 2 possible shifts, so we're going to use Justin logic.
So you're definitely stealthy enough. Wigbert leads you out and around through some crates and sort of in a circuitous path, and the servo skulls do not track you. And as you're going by, once again, you see these Ogren loader servitors and a couple of combat servitor patrols, and they just turn and watch, but they do not take any action. So you can move around to here if you're going to the power plant.
Yeah, we plan to go straight there after freeing these guys.
Okay. So you see crackling arcs of electricity, and the stench of electrified ozone fills the air and within the eternally beating heart of the Manufactorum. You see the central power plant is a gargantuan generator, smothered with snaking cables that range from the thickness of a few inches to 10 feet wide. And these cables weave in and all around the power generator. At each one of these stations around the primary power core and generator, you see a servitor hooked in, and they're doing, a dozen computations a second as they balance the power throughout the entire Manufactorum. Slightly inset within some of the machinery, you see that elevator entrance that Magos Bast first told you about, and the door is open. None of the servitors pay you any attention whatsoever.
I think they're waiting for us.
Let us head into the elevator then.
They don't even turn their heads as you pack into this elevator. Now, it's a smaller elevator, so it's a tight fit, but you're all able to squeeze in. And then the doors immediately shut, and the elevator quickly drops. It feels like you're going down about 10 stories. And then it slides open, and you find yourself in this large octagonal room, and there's cogitators all around. And you see servitors moving around these various control panels. But what really catches your attention is in the center of the room, there appears to be almost like a medibay laid out. And you see this, what had once been obviously a senior Magos of the Adeptus Mechanicum, completely disassembled on this bed. And it looks like the brainstem and spine has been encased in a fluid, and you could see like over half the brain is this cogitator, and it's slaved into the machinery all around this octagon. And as soon as the door opens, you hear a very feminine voice broadcast out around in the speakers around you. Hello, my friends. I am Magos Pharaoh. It is so good that you have come to me. I have been watching your progress, and I am so proud of the efforts that you have made. So very proud that you did not take that weasel's deal from the Administratum. So proud of you that as you moved through, you were respectful of my children, except for when you had to protect yourself. And then you feel like a chill, and you see all these like floating skulls that come out, and they all just sort of fly around Wigbert for a moment. That is except for one of you. You were very naughty. What you did was not required. You slayed my child simply for the act of slaying. But I understand the stresses of your situation. And as we all know, the flesh is weak. So you are forgiven, Wigbert Han, for your crimes against my children and the Omnissiah. But the rest of you have done well to make it here. And now, I will give you a gift. Each of you, I will give a gift. But I will ask a favor in return. The gift is freedom. Freedom from this place, if you are smart and quick. But first you must give me a gift. The gift of death. You must kill me. Inquisitorial was a heretical mistake, and it has grown beyond my control. Though it nestles within my subconscious, it has spread throughout the Manufactorum. It is taking all of my efforts to keep it from the data sphere. You must kill me and take from my body the cogitator within my brain. You must take it up to the power plant. And while you are there, you will hook it into the power, and it will cause a controlled meltdown of the power plant, the fusion reactor, will go supercritical, and the plant will be utterly destroyed. However, if you use the cogitator, I can also use the subroutines to activate the void shields that protect the manufactorum from orbital bombardment. And no one outside of the void shields, no one outside of the manufactorum will be injured by this. In turn, I will open the doors on the level above, the great service doors and cargo lift bays. And if you are quick, you will be able to flee before the void shields come up. You will have perhaps 5 minutes after you engage the cogitator to the power plant to make your escape. But you, my son, my brother, the father of my salvation, you must ensure that the cogitator is destroyed. Within it is the data that I used to create Ingus Avum, and with it, anyone with knowledge of the Mechanicum could recreate this heresy, and it cannot be allowed to happen. So, if you give me the gift of death, I will give you the hope of freedom. But before, if there are questions that you would have of me, ask them now.
Can we see how truthful he was during that spiel?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me an insight roll.
That's an Ashley specialty.
Is
Yeah,
it?
mine's
Okay.
1. Mine's terrible.
I was just looking at everybody's sheets and I was like, yep, that's Celeste and her 6 insight.
I'm gonna wrath that.
All right.
Oh god.
Okay.
4?
That's enough. You could feel the absolute anguish in her voice and the shame, and the disgust, the self-loathing of what has happened under her watch. You are certain that she is 100% committed to this action. And Birk, give me a difficulty 3 tech test.
That is 5 successes with a shift.
Okay, so with that shift particularly, the information you get is you can now feel what she is saying through that communication node that Ingus Avum drilled into your consciousness. You can actually feel the web of Magos Pharaoh's willpower pulling back at it and preventing it from using the Manufactorum's data sphere to connect with the planetary data sphere. She's basically using all of her energy to lock this thing out of the data sphere.
Okay. I think Talib would actually ask a follow-up question.
Absolutely.
And will say,
Has the data been sanctified and preserved in any other locations? Is this the only copy of the data that you used for Ignis Avum?
Yes, my brother. The kernel of the possibility of this was brokered to me, but the work that I did is not repeatable without my data. If I die and the Manufactorum is destroyed, Ingus Avum will die here.
Where did you get the ideas for Ingus Avum?
Well, there are, brother, there are within the Manufactorum, there is information abounds. A broker, I was looking for a way to more efficiently run the Manufactorum after most of the senior staff were killed in an accident. And I reached out to a human ring of informants, and they said they had technology that might help me improve the efficiency.
What was
That was
ring?
my first shame. It was a group of smugglers. I I do not know who the broker was. It was handled through cutouts. I paid them and they gave me this node. It's an efficiency program. But I felt it was not going to be enough, so I began to pull upon my own knowledge, and I began to enhance and manipulate the code. And then once I integrated it into my subconscious, it began to advance itself without my assistance and came to the threshold of sentience. And by the time it had done that, it had already trapped me down here and disassembled my body.
And then I presume Celeste, since she did go undercover for that brief while, she knows what she means by handled through cutouts and stuff.
Yeah.
So she asking further, like where they met, wouldn't bring me any additional information, correct?
She tells you that there was several places in the Vacrum Manufactorum main complex where she would meet and drop information off for what she was looking for, and then she would get a coded binary message to go to another area on Avacris or up to the moon, one of the moons, to pick up additional information. And it was always a new location every time, so no repeating pattern.
Okay, gotcha.
Talif has another question. Did you have any more follow-ups? Celeste, I don't want to jump in. So, Magos, do you have knowledge of the whereabouts of the Rustocker Merrick? It's Rustocker, right? I think it's Rustocker.
Yes, yep. I feel his presence, but Ingus Avum is shielding his location from me. He is within the facility, but I do not know where.
Do you know how to draw him to us?
My brother, as soon as you take this cranial cogitator and plug it into the power generator, Merrick will come for you to protect Ingus Avum.
Of course.
All right, so that's good for Talif.
I can't think of any questions, personally.
Then I accept my death as the best course of action and the punishment for my sins against the Omnissiah. This will be my final duty beyond death. Please take the cranial cogitator and then destroy my brain.
Beer.
I'm gonna just nod to Byrrc.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Byrrc does so, Celeste will begin going through a litany for basically death rites for her as Talif goes through the process of killing her and removing the cogitator in an attempt to get a wrath point.
I was also looking at mine. I was like, mine doesn't apply just yet.
I don't know how mine works because it's basically about how like legions are put into smaller legions. I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to apply that.
I don't understand why you guys have so much trouble with this. I usually get mine done in the first 5 minutes, so I don't have to think.
It's ridiculous.
You do. I know.
Actually,
you're so efficient.
Azrael, I think that by explaining how you would approach this with deception and stealth directly speaks to your chapter's modus operandi for how you would operate. So I would say that you met your objective in that.
We did it, guys. We're in.
I do not understand why you are suddenly so full of energy and excitement.
So you remove the cranial cogitator.
And he's like probably joining a bit in the prayer, but he is like trying to redirect that prayer, so it's a little bit more like on point, like in the Omnissiah's name.
Yeah, she'll take like your hints because she spent enough time with you, so she does phrase it more towards the Omnissiah and the flesh is weak. So
I think he's probably saying something about like the process of dismantling and reassembly and like the divine schema, blessed be the machine, and like that is kind of what he's saying. Is he just rips the cogitator, what's it
Cranial
called?
cogitator out.
The cranial cogitator off. Yeah. So he'll
And you see just
dismantle
this
and rip.
horrible gaping wound in her brain, and you hear through the vox casters around the room just this kind of pitiful moaning wail as she's lost most of her memories were tied into her cogitator. Only short-term memories were kept in the biological part of her brain. And you just hear her whispering over and over again, please, please now, please now.
And Taloff will, like, you can see his electus will begin to glow. He'll get his staff, which will start to cackle, and he'll look down at like this pitiful body. You die now, a heretic. And whoosh, and will just take the staff and just do whatever he can to destroy the brain.
And the brain, I mean, it's easy. You completely destroy it. And in that moment, all the servitors turn in and face you guys, and their jaws distend and drop open far wider than any human mouth could. And you just hear Birk in binary, you just hear mother, and the rest of you just hear this shattering no coming out. And then they start to smoke, and they literally fire starts to engulf their heads as power surges through these servitors.
And Celeste will quickly start to push everybody back to the elevator, so we can get back up to the power area.
And as we're moving, Talov is going to have his eyes. Well, he doesn't have eyes. He's going to be very keen on looking out for any signs of like Rustock or Merrick. Like that's like as we're moving, he's looking. Other people are looking for other dangers. He is seeing any signs of like the mist or any sounds of like the scraping of movement, anything that might kind of give away his position.
Give me a difficulty 3 awareness test.
All right. I'm actually not too bad at awareness, so I probably shouldn't have said that before I rolled though. Yeah. See, that's what happens. I do.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and.
Want to glory it too?
No, it's difficulty 3. So, no, because he'll just attack you guys, not me. So what do I care? Okay. 5 successes.
Okay.
You didn't.
You hear the elevator coming up, and you hear the wailing, the continuous wailing, just mother, mother, mother. And in a distance, you think you can hear the sounds that you associated when Merrick was moving through the conduits before, but it sounds like it's not inside the elevator shaft. It sounds like it's outside of the elevator shaft somewhere.
Okay, so then he'll convey. He'll say, Merrick waits for us outside the elevator.
I'll stand in front.
Yeah.
And I'll just crank on the chainsword for the first time. And I'll say, let him come. We shall end this heretical.
Remember, it's
nonsense.
a really tight elevator, so if you're pumping that chainsword up,
it's like right next. It's right next to Wigbert's face, like right this.
Put that thing away.
And so
no face left.
Talov was given like an actual machine, like right. He was giving something to adhere to him.
Cranial cogitators, just like
This is the same thing I just ripped off. Okay, so he will say to Azrael.
You've got I misunderstood. You've got the device from Mago's Bast as well.
Yeah.
You can plant on him.
Yeah, so that's what
you've got the cranial cogitator for the power plant.
So he'll say if we can convert him with the device that Bast provided me, he could perhaps be an ally as we attempt to destroy the plant.
Is communication still blocked while we're in here?
It is, but based on the information she provided you, you think as soon as you attach the cranial cogitator and start the process, that will basically almost deactivate Ingus Avum as soon as it actually cycles fully through, and you should have communication again at that point.
Okay, so
It'll take you about 5 rounds for the cogitator to sync up with the power.
Celeste is going to preset some messages to automatically broadcast to the other people that we've met while we've been going around, and give them the directions of the doors that will be open, and inform them that they'll have a 5-minute countdown from the moment receiving this.
That's a fantastic idea. That's a wrath point.
Cool.
Yay!
I mean, you
Good
may
job,
not live, but my God, that was good. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
I'll turn to Barak and say, I'm with you, brother. If we can, we will save him. But I will not keep him from compromising our mission. If the time comes, I will remove him from this heretical being.
Understood.
Celeste also she's assuming she's gonna die, kind of thing. Preps a message to go to oh God, what was his name? Veronius?
Mm-hmm. Jackal Veronius?
Jackal?
Yeah. And informing him that we did discover that this was due to the smuggling ring and it wasn't necessarily heretical. And for that to yeah.
Careful what you put in that message.
Well, yeah, she does
Don't
it in
say
like
AI.
Yeah, be really careful what you put in that message.
You just
really
put
It's a broad beam.
Yeah,
Pick
yeah.
up on that.
Yeah.
Dictionary on the ISA.
She does not say that. She just does say that it was because of the smugglers.
Cool. Good. Okay, so the elevator doors slide open. And you're right in the middle of the power plant now.
All right, keep up, or you'll be lost. And I'll lead our way up.
I'll be right with him.
So you guys walk out, and you're amongst all the machinery. You still see the servitors at each one of the stations. You know that all you have to do is connect one of the cranial cogitator to one of these servitors, and it will start the process. But you don't see any sign of Merrick, at least not at the moment.
What would be
Okay.
our fastest route out from once we get this started from here?
From where you're at, the access doors, the cargo access doors on this floor are all going to open, so you could run straight out the building, straight west out.
Gotcha.
Do you want to have maybe Celeste install it? Is this something like Celeste can install? Is just a high tech thing?
It will require a difficulty 4 tech test to install it.
Is that a possibility for you, Ashley?
I mean, I have 4 tech.
Because if we could have hitters out, protectors out front while the healers in the back, doing that might be a good idea.
Well, does Talif have to maintain it, or is this something that?
No, it'll start once it gets hooked up. The subroutines that were programmed in it by Magos Pharaoh will rewrite the servitor and start the process.
Okay.
Yeah, because
failing this would be bad, though.
Oh, if it could be failing, it would be bad. Getting a complication could be very bad.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll just do it.
Celeste
Even
wouldn't want to take this from you, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I might just put it on my head too. I don't know. I told you, I'm gonna play both sides until I know which team's gonna win, and then I'm gonna join.
Right.
If you're not supposed to tell us that you're playing both sides,
I'm sorry. I thought you were professional role players that you can separate what your US people know and what your characters.
Okay. All right. Okay. My bad.
All right. So Tal will go over and do it. He'll waste no time.
All right. Go ahead.
I guess we can kind of like be around him in like a protective position, I guess.
Yeah, like Nura's really looking to just like grab, like so like
Grenades.
one person grab, one person put the thing on Merrick.
Mhm.
Like that feels like the plan that she's got in her head.
So Talif would be.
Well,
in
we have
there.
to.
Roll the complication.
Fantastic.
I did
But
get
you
a
got
shift
6
though.
successes and a shift.
And
And a
So-
shift.
And the shift can counter the complication.
We learned.
Right?
No,
We
so
learned
You set
1
those.
hour
You set
ago.
those precedents. Look out! They don't forget those things. Forget everything else, but they won't forget that.
The complication
Never
is
forget.
the complication is different and hard written in here, so you're not getting away from it. But
Fair enough.
what happens? It syncs up, and it actually locks in. And with your shift, if you want, you can have this happen faster. So instead of taking 5 rounds for it to start the process, it'll only take 3.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go ahead and use it for that.
And you hear that right as you hook that in, screaming over the loudspeakers in low Gothic is traitor. And at that point, dropping out of the ceiling, after I spent a point of ruin to seize the initiative, is our old buddy Merrick. And he is going to... He can't get to Talif, because Talif is in the control room at the moment. So I'm going to roll a d4, 1 Nura, 2 Celeste, 3 Azrael, and 4 Wigbert Han.
That's
Wigbert.
Wigbert.
You hear as Rustocker Merrick drops down at you, stabbing with his transonic blades. What is your defense?
4 in defense.
You got this. You'll be fine. And he's going to multi-attack you because he's got a special ability that reduces his multi-attack penalty. So if he's just attacking twice, he takes no penalty. So he's just going to attack you twice. Ooh, we got a complication. So I think the complication is going to be he does not successfully get off his second attack because Wigbert's so fast, his second attack just completely misses. But let's do some damage. You got 2 possible shifts. What is your resilience, Wigbert?
7.
7. Okay, so that's 6. So that's 11, 13 points of damage. But you can roll determination to shift some of that to shock if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll get that roll out right now. No shifts, so I take the full amount.
Okay. And how are you looking?
It'll be 9 damage. I'm max wounds.
Okay, but you didn't go negative, right?
Right.
Okay, so his blade slides deep into you. I mean, just an aggressive wound, and you feel organs have been damaged by it, but you're still on your feet. However, he is going to spend a second rune point and use his second rune ability, and he scutters back up onto the crates and disappears from sight of everybody except for Wigbert. Wigbert, you've still got sort of a line on him. And it's back to your guys. Who wants to go first?
I've got that line on him, so I'm just going to follow straight after.
Go for it.
Okay. Before you follow after him, though, I need you to give me a difficulty 5 toughness test.
That'll be a bit difficult with 3 as my base.
Ooh, yuck.
I got 3, so I failed.
But you could roll if you want to spend a wrath, you could potentially
Wrath
succeed.
and spend glory to get an extra die.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
It's mathematically possible. But.
Yeah, it is. I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Do one more
Oh,
d6.
so close.
One more d6,
Um,
one more
Glory,
d6 for the glory.
He gets another
that's
d6.
right.
There it goes.
Yes!
Oh my God, hit.
Yay.
So
Nice.
what happens is you feel your augmetic lower half of your leg and foot start to clutch up, almost as if like some virus was in your leg trying to stop you. But you're able to just power through it because you're so dynamic and athletic. Even though your leg's a little bit of dead weight at the moment, you're able to do whatever you want to do at this point.
Hoping to slash him down and get him
Yes,
out of hiding.
You take your move action to skitter up to where he's at. It's an easy climb for you. I'm not even going to make you roll that. You just move up there and go for it.
Hitting with my power blade. Oh, I only got 4.
Ooh, nice.
What was the difficulty?
Let's see what his defense is. Sorry, his defense is 7. So you slice at him, but I think it's your leg being a little clubby at the moment. You're just slightly off balance, and he is able to weave away from your blade. But you're up there with him and engaged in combat with him, so it'll be harder for him to get away from you. This is bringing us back to you guys. There's nobody else from the enemy here at the moment.
Because he's next to him, do we have access to know where he's at too?
No, you don't have line of sight on him because he's on a crate above you. So you would have to climb up the crate. You saw Wigbert go up the side of the crate, but wherever they're at on the top, you can't see it.
Is this set
Of course,
up
if you had a
in such
jetpack,
way...
you could fly up there.
And you could
Or
put the
that.
thing on him.
Who has the thing? Does Talif have both the thing and the other thing?
I thought you said
Or
you
does
took it.
Wigbert have the
Azrael.
thing?
Right?
I didn't give it to Azrael. I thought Nura said she took it from me because I was
Oh,
putting
okay,
the
okay.
Oh, I have it.
So then
Sweet.
you-
I thought that's what I heard. So I don't know if that was canon or not.
That works for me. So I was going to do a different thing, and then I have wings, so I can just use my jump pack to. I see what Wigbert is aiming towards, so that's going to be her aim point with the use of her jump pack to
Okay.
move in that direction.
Before you take your move action, give me a difficulty 5 tech test.
No, thank you.
This how could you not have learned anything from me
You're
by this point? Come on.
Because I learned, I was focusing on learning healing from Celeste, and I did
probably
not
because
do
I have a
anything.
Fellowship
to
of
improve
one, and
my
I
tech.
don't teach well. I don't.
It's like,
I'm not a
what do you
friendly
mean you don't learn this?
instructor.
Yes, that's a 1.
So what happens is unless you're going to attempt to do something with that, are you going to wrath it or anything like that?
You would need to get
Like,
spot stars if you re-rolled
Yeah.
it. If you have 1 glory left, which means you can roll 3. So you basically, if you just wrath point, you need 2 6s to be able to get to 5 successes.
Yeah.
And then if you spend a glory, you're rolling 3 dice, and you could, there's other ways to get there, but it's still hard.
I mean, it's kind of important for us to do this, right?
But you don't know what's going to happen with this. It's not necessarily going to take away your turn or anything, but something is going to happen. So it's completely up to you. I'll describe it based on what your final roll is.
Yeah, someone else who's doing something with got a better chance can use the glory point. So I'll, yeah. She tries to fly sort of generally in the direction where Wigbert was.
So what happens is as you start to engage your power armor, you feel the servos in your power armor start to lock down. You feel your neuroports that connect you into your armor start to fritz and fry, and everything is more difficult. You are hindered 5 because your power armor has a rating of 5. So that means the difficulty for all of your actions increases by 5.
Maybe I should have spent the wrath and glory.
You're able to fly up there perfectly well, but now you have to land without falling.
All right, so I'm floating.
Yeah.
So
you're in the air,
I'm assuming I'm not necessarily capable of putting this on him in the same turn that I'm getting up here.
You could try. I mean, your movement action was to fly up there. You can definitely try to do it. It would be a difficulty. Well, what's his? It would be a difficulty. Athletics is 4. It would be normally be a difficulty 4 athletics test, kind of opposing his movements. But with the hindered state, it'll be a difficulty 9 athletics test.
Okay.
You're halfway there.
Okay. I can wrath it. I'm rolling 4, so I would need all 4 of those to go.
Or a couple 6s.
All right, let me. Come on. Come on, no. No,
So
6.
came close. with 6 successes, you fly close to him, but he basically he's so fast and his movements are so fluid, and they don't correspond with the normal human body because he can move his joints in whatever direction he wants. And he's just able to shift out of the way, and you sort of fly past him.
Yeah, she's just like trying to awkwardly like put this on him, and he's just stay put. Just stay put. This is for your own good.
At that moment, you guys can all hear the sounds of heavy metal feet as you believe a squad of combat servitors is moving into the area, but they're not close enough this turn to do anything. It's back to you.
Celeste is going to cast Fury of the Righteous. So I spend a faith to activate Fury of the Righteous until the start of my next turn. While this is active, any allies with the Adeptus Ministorum keyword gain plus our rank bonus dice to melee attack tests.
All right.
So this applies to any of all of you until my next turn.
Well, it would be Nura,
Except
Celeste,
for-
and Han.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not me. I don't have that keyword. I'm not part of that crap.
Azrael doesn't have that?
No. He's Adeptus Astartes.
Mhm.
Okay, so you
I
cast
thought
this.
he had the Ministorum on his sheet. Maybe.
We're a separate branch.
Got it.
Yeah, he should. He's Astartes are completely different, but
He does.
so
He does have the keyword. He does have the
should.
keyword on his sheet.
But he shouldn't.
But are we sure? Because there are talents and things like that do offer extra keywords.
Did you get to have a talent that gives you the Ministorum keyword?
No, I don't have that.
I'm just saying, like, it's not like the keywords magically appear on the sheet, and like it's usually applied when something's dragged over on top of it.
Let me just give us character sheet a real quick look and make sure, because I would hate to take that away from him.
Is it the same sheet as V's? It could have just been stuck from there.
It could have been that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Attack of
Maybe.
versatility,
Did you use-
defender if you may.
Oh no, V sheet's right there.
Yeah, we can't see V's sheet, so
Oh, good.
I can. Sorry.
that's why we thought it was the same.
That's a
You can
special.
see the special.
Yes.
With your special eyes.
There is nothing that should give him the Adeptus Ministorum keyword.
Gotcha.
So
Well, it's still
taking it
applying
away.
to two of you
There,
guys. So
it's gone
that's
now.
no big. I'll take it.
yeah, it still applies to Wigbert for next round because
Yeah.
it lasts until your next turn. Sister Nora, which might help her up there, and then obviously yourself.
Yeah.
What was
So-
the bonus?
It's bonus rank dice.
So
I
plus
just
one.
don't believe enough. That's what it is. I don't believe in
That
the God King
explains
Emperor
why
enough.
you wanted to be a little bit heretical earlier. So fuck you.
So it's back around to you guys. You hear the sound of approaching. Sounds like combat servitors, but they're not close yet.
Can I jump up there and try and wrangle this guy?
You can definitely take your movement action to get up there. Yeah, I'm not even gonna make you roll for it. So, because the way these crates are stacked, it's not even that hard to get up there. But you could definitely jump up there. Yes.
And can I restrain him?
You can try to restrain him. Yes.
What type of
So-
check would that be?
That's gonna be, we'll call it athletics, and it will be against his difficulty 4.
All right, I'll do
But
that.
as you get ready to jump, I also need from you a difficulty 5 tech test.
Okay.
Do better than me. You have also 3 tech, right? Like not so great. with
Yeah, I
tech.
have 3 tech. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm because of my shock. It's doing a +1. Is it still difficulty 5? Because I'm getting 6 when I put in 5.
If you put in the base, it'll figure it out for you. Like it'll add whatever extra you're
it'll be
supposed to have
6.
'cause you
It'll
have
be 6
wounds
for
or
you.
shock
because
or
you're-
whatever.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. We'll try that.
It's gonna be tough.
Ooh. No.
Yeah.
So the same sort of thing. You saw Sister Nura hesitate, and you didn't know why in the moment, but now you know as you feel your own neural parts in your armor start to fritz, and it's almost as if the servo-assisted joints in your armor are resisting the commands you're giving it. you're capable, you're able to do what you're attempting to do, but everything is much harder. As you are also hindered 5 because the level of your armor is 5. So your difficulty to restrain him is now 9. Athletics check 9. But you got a lot of dice. Ooh.
I'm gonna roll for Wrath.
That's that.
I like
Yeah.
it.
You got this.
There you go.
Oh yeah. So you jump. Describe what it looks like as you jump up there and grapple Merrick.
So I just jump up to the top of the crates, take my giant ceramide arms and wrap it around his shoulders. And I'm just holding him tight, like a tight little hug, almost like, shh, only dreams now. That type of feel hold. That's kind of what I'm doing.
And with your transhuman strength, you actually feel yourself squeezing, and you feel like his joints popping a little bit as you really securely wrap him up. So his target number to escape would be an athletics check, difficulty 11, based on your number of successes. When it comes back around to his turn, might be your turn still. Let's see. Talav, I need you to make me a difficulty 5 willpower test.
Willpower, huh? Okay. Difficulty 5. There we go. 5 successes.
You feel this overriding command come through that communications node. And you can feel it. It's clearly trying to just completely circumvent your higher brain functions and take control of your body. And the overwhelming command was to destroy the cogitator and destroy your friends. But your will is great enough that you're able to stop that. And you are free to take whatever actions you would like. Or Sister Celeste's. It is still your turn.
I think Celeste went. She casts that one spell. I think it's just me.
Oh, that's right. It's just you. That's
okay.
Thanks.
Okay. I mean, I don't think he would. I mean, he would have to climb up. It's getting crowded up there, so I don't think that's necessarily the best
There's a
thing.
group heading towards us too.
Yeah, I mean, we're not fighting them. We're either running,
Yeah.
because so I think he will. I think he's going to take an interact action, and he is going to tap into one of his abilities that he has. So he has a signal booster, which allows him to interact with machines at a greater distance. So he can essentially, from a distance, do an interact action. And I'm going to try to interact attack essentially this guy to hinder him. To see if I can make it more difficult for him to try to break free from Azrael when the time comes.
I like it.
So he's going to reach out to whatever tech is in the area, whether it's like sending shorts from someone else's power armor, whatever it might be, to attempt it. So that's his plan.
I will say that, so his defense is 7. I was going to let you go against his tech level, but his tech level is 9, so we'll leave it at your tech difficulty 7.
Okay. So. Okay. All right. Sorry, just reading. All right, 7.
Yeah, man.
6 successes, but I'll go ahead and wrath it up and see what I can do. That's another one, so that's 7. So that's a success.
Okay. So now he would need an athletics check of 13 to escape. And we're at the beginning of round 2. And Talav, you feel the power plant. You feel changes through the motive force. You feel the changes in the power levels at the plant, and you feel the reactor starting to go super critical. So you know it's working. You think maybe in 10 more seconds, the subroutines will punch through, the plant should open up, and then you should have about 5 minutes to get out.
Okay. He'll just say he will literally just say like 10 seconds. Like he will just call that out. And that's that. That's his turn.
Okay. So we are back to the top of the crate, or whoever wants to take an action. All right, Sister Nora. Sister
Nura, you have a question?
All I will say is, all you have to do is land.
And I can get it on him because I need to.
You can just put it on him. You don't even need to take an action to put it on him, but you do have to land.
It's not like you've had a clumsy history ever, so this should be
Yeah.
Landing is not a part of jumping. It's an entirely separate action that isn't connected in any way to something like jumping.
So that hindered usually
land
goes
our ship.
away. So I'm not hindered goes away after a turn. It's not something. So like the extra.
No. This is different. This is for as long as Ingus Avum is up. This is one of those major manifestations that you guys are getting hit with. So.
Okay, so it's a pilot test for landing. Okay, so it's a pilot test at a. So instead of it being a DN3, it's a DN8.
Correct.
Okay.
So before you rip it, Celeste could assist you with a faith spell. If Aaron would let me go.
I'm fine with that. Absolutely.
It's called By His Will. I help a character with the Imperium keyword by adding triple number bonus dice to their roll if I spend 1 faith. So I'm giving you 3 dice.
3 bonus
Okay.
dice. So you see, Celeste, you see Sister Nora having a hard time controlling her jetpack. And you reach out with your faith, and Sister Nora, you feel this energy.
She starts chanting like a litany or a drill that we've done together numerous times, and I'm attempting to will you whatever power that you need in order to land properly.
So unless unless you spend a point of glory to seize the initiative, it's his turn again.
Spend it. Spend glory.
Okay, I'll spend the glory. That will put us at 0 glory for anything else that we're looking to do.
Just roll extra successes and give us glory back on shifts. What's the problem?
So you get 3 additional dice, difficulty 8.
Okay, and I don't necessarily need to spend the glory right now. I can see if I succeed, and then if I fail, spend the wrath and the glory.
You're spending it to seize the initiative because I went before you.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Dice.
Yeah, sorry. Yep. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't do it on the page. If someone else can, we're down to 0. Okay, pushing the roll buttons. Oh, that looks awful. What the hell was that roll? Holy crap!
And a complication. Okay, but I mean, do you have a wrath point?
I do have a wrath point, but I just need to say out loud that was 10 dice and 1 single solitary success and a complication.
That's about as bad as you can get. Yeah, that's horrible.
God,
gravity doesn't exist anymore for you.
Why is this not?
She lands up.
Okay.
Still didn't get it. 5 successes, no shifts possible, and a complication.
I know what the complication is. That's fine. You're coming down too fast, and you slam into Merrick and Azrael, and all 3 of you go off the side of the container. You each take 2 mortal wounds and land prone at the feet of this group of combat servitors who are approaching.
That's
a little harsh.
It's rough.
That's a touch harsh, Aaron. I think man.
I'm trying to kill somebody here tonight. Give me a few minutes, okay? But 2 wounds. That's it. You're not dead. Nobody's dead. But it's now Merrick's turn, and he's going to attempt to escape. However, he just fell, he's prone, and he's slightly crushed. So instead of athletics 13, I'm going to make his difficulty 15. Because he's basically crushed between a and Astartes, and Sister Adeptus Sororitas. So it's going to be rough. And he fails and gets a complication. So the complication is, as he is shifting around trying to escape, he literally presses his chest into the control module that Sister Nura was holding in her hand, and he falls unconscious and goes limp.
But we could have done this with such less commotion if you would have just held still.
And it's back to you guys. Azrael, you can see over your shoulder, you can see those combat servitors approaching. They're not going to get here this round. They're going to do a double movement. By next round, if you're still here, they will be in range to open fire on you guys.
Nothing's opened yet, right? Go ahead, Ashley.
Are we worried that are they just coming to attack us? Does it seem like, or are they heading towards the power thing?
They're moving towards you, whether it's to attack you or to try to do something in the power plant. You don't know.
Got it. Okay.
And the next turn they will have access to it, and it's also the third turn. So, wouldn't the doors open up by next turn?
At the end of next turn, yes.
Oh, at the end of next turn. Okay. Are they close enough for me to throw a grenade?
If you took a movement action to get closer to them, yes.
I feel like it might be best to kind of head off the pack a little bit. So I'll move forward a little.
Away from them, though? Like you're running towards them.
Yeah, but we got to make sure they don't get to the console. If they get to the console before the end of next turn, it's done. So I'm going to try and distract them a bit, I guess. So I'll head towards them, and I'll throw a crack grenade.
All right. Difficulty 3.
So, difficulty 3 of what, though? I'm sorry.
So just roll it from combat?
It's just from combat. If you roll, go to your grenade.
And then just your DN.
Oh, I was doing it from...
3. That's what I tried to do earlier, too.
Do it from combat, yeah.
I know that mistake. I just made it.
Why are they... It's not in my combat tab, though. I'm confused.
You have to equip it if it's just in your gear.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So.
Go into your gear tab. You have fracking.
All right. So crack grenade. You said difficulty 3. You said.
Yep.
Okay. So roll. Sweet.
Nice. And a shift so we can have a glory back in case somebody needs it.
Yes,
if you want to.
can.
Yeah, I'll shift to the glory.
Roll damage. I know what the complication is from your grenade. 17.
You could also do
AP
more damage.
2. So their resilience is 10, takes it down to 8. They take 9. You see 2 of them are destroyed. What is your resilience?
11.
11. AP2 takes it down to 9. You're too close to the blast, and you take 8 points of damage.
Okay.
You can roll determination to shift that to shock if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll do that. So that's what, 4?
1. You shift 1 to shock, and the rest
success.
to wounds.
I'll wrath that to redo it because I have extra wrath.
Okay.
Oh, waste of wrath. Oh,
Yep,
that
same
always
thing.
sucks.
So 1 to shock, the rest to wounds.
So how many wounds was that again? 5?
No, what was your resilience again?
11.
10? 11? So it takes it down to 9, so that would have been 8 damage, so 7 damage and 1 shock.
So I'm at full wounds.
4 wounds left?
But do you exceed?
Full wounds.
Full.
No, I
full. Okay,
I don't
but you're not negative. Okay, so we all see Azrael blows himself up.
You're supposed
But
to
he's a
throw it.
demigod,
and
so he's still on his
go
feet.
that way.
However, at that moment, Sister Celeste, you go to say something, and there's no oxygen in your augmetic lungs. There's no air for you to breathe. Roll a d3 for me.
Okay.
Oh dear.
I'll roll a d6.
Okay, so that's only one. So you take 1 point of shock
Okay.
as you begin to suffocate, as your augmetic lungs cease to work.
So you guys watch as Celeste drops to a knee, as she's clutching kind of at both her throat, and then she's kind of grabbing at her chest, and it's clear that she's not breathing.
Now, I will say this, and I didn't say it earlier to the others because it was such a long shot that they would get it, but the difficulty is only difficulty 4 tech test. So on your turn, any one of you who are suffering from the effects of Angus Aven corrupting your armor or corrupting your augmetics can take that full round to make a tech test and clear the problem. So on your next turn, you could do a difficulty 4 tech test to reset your augmetic lungs. Azrael and Sister Nora, you could do a difficulty 5 tech test to reset your power armor, but it takes an entire turn. So, but I mean, the power armor thing's an irritation. Having your leg messed up a little bit's an irritation. Not being able to breathe is a real problem. So, it will be your choice. But it is, you guys, it's back to your turn. What do you do?
So we are still wanting to get towards the door that we think is supposed to be opening at the end of this round.
Right. I mean, at the end of the third round, you guys are still in the
we'll
second
have 5
round,
minutes.
but at the end of the third round, you've got plenty of time to clear the building once the door is open. It's not that long of a run to get out of here, even if your armor is still messed up. I mean, it'll be a very long run for somebody who's suffocating, but for everybody else, you can easily get out of here.
I already went this round, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And I did as
Sister
well.
Nora went, and Azrael went, but Wigbert and Talav are still.
Go for it, man.
I'll stealth up
To whom or to what?
to the servitors so they can't notice me.
Okay. So for your movement action, so are you going to do like you want to take a full round action to stealth up there to them, or
I want to do like if I can be in the rafters up here and just shove boxes down, kind of delay their approach.
Sure. Absolutely. There's enough items up here and loose parts and things you can pry loose that you could drop on them. Give me a difficulty 3 athletics check. And for each success you get above the target difficulty number, that's the number of combat servitors you'll delay. But you got a complication.
I failed it
So that's
too.
rough.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to shift these off, and you slip over the side of the railing because once again your leg is throwing your balance off. You're able to grab a hold, but now you're hanging, suspended above this group of combat servitors, and you just see all of their heads sort of turn and look up at you. And you're right over them. But they took their action to move. So they've already moved. So they're not going to do anything this round. It's back to Beric.
Okay, so there's one mob of servitors that has closed in, Azrael and Wigbert, but they're pretty far from me, so I never really left the area where I plugged anything in. The Rust Stalker, he's on the ground still, but Azrael has let him go because Azrael went off and fired a grenade and stuff like that. So
But Sister Nora's got him. I mean,
Okay, so
he's in a pile with Sister Nora, and he's unconscious. You could tell that. In fact, you could feel through your through the motive force that he's basically in a power down cycle.
Okay, and you put the
Almost
thing
like
on
a
him
coma.
already? Okay.
Yeah. Well, he accidentally moved
Oh, that's right.
When
That's
he
right.
fell
Yeah,
on
'cause
top
he,
of
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
and it clamped onto him.
Happens to the best of us. So the room that I'm in, where there was a, like where I kind of hooked up the cogitator thing. is there a entryway into here? Like, is there an actual door or some kind? Or because I know on the map we have it, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that one door, that one entryway is a physical door that slides over, because the area in here, when the generator is running at full speed, is actually puts off a fair amount of gamma radiation. So it would be deadly to anyone in here with that door open who is not a servitor. These servitors are specifically hardened against this radiation. So yeah, the door is a blast door.
Okay. Can I like step out and see if I can essentially like sabotage the door a bit, just to make it so that if they do get to us, or if we do have to flee, like they can't get in, like because the door's like, or at least it slows them down or something?
Absolutely. Give me a difficulty 5 tech test.
All right,
as you feel Ingus Avum still fighting against you, but you've managed to throw off their greater control.
Okay. All right. So he steps out, makes sure no one's inside. All right, everyone's out. Okay. And then tries again. All right, that is 6 successes. No shifts, though.
Nice.
Flesh bags?
So you
Flashbacks?
you communicate with the machine spirit of the door, and you convince it that there's a radiation leak within the power core. So not only does the blast door shut and seal, the lead shielding that is the radiation barrier drops. So now there's about 3 feet of lead and a blast door that's isolated the power core.
And then he will call out, just be like, "Move!" to everyone. Then is it. And he'll move closer to Celeste, I guess, before his turn ends.
Okay. So you all hear Byrrc say, "Move." You guys hear these lead doors slam down shut. So it's the top of round 3. What do you do? The only reason I'm continuing this is because Wigber's hanging over the servitors and Celeste is suffocating. So
Far enough by pulling myself up and running towards the voice.
give me a difficulty 3 athletics check. Please don't get a complication this time.
Done a lot of those this room.
Right?
I think
It's
we
the,
all
it's the
have.
bad dice rolls from last night.
Please,
that
I know,
carried
right?
Please,
over.
everybody, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Heresy for me.
Okay, so you got 1 success.
No, I'm out.
Okay,
Have
so
you done your objective for this session to get a wrath point? What's your
Blind
objective?
faith. I haven't
Come
applied that
on.
really.
You're just jumping, eyes closed, jumping, blind faith. I'm trying to just.
Even long
Like,
doesn't
you
believe
break your
that.
leg, fix it.
so this is not really a failure situation. It's a fail forward situation. So because your leg is still dead, you're able to scamper back up on the beam and you're able to get across and onto the crates, but you're not able to really get down and get where you thought you would have gotten by this point. So you're up on the crates, but you're out of the line of sight of the servitors. The servitors continue to march forward, and once they get into range of Azrael, they're going to fire unless somebody spends a point of glory to, seize the initiative.
I will spend that point of glory.
Coward.
Seize that initiative.
Cowardly Space Marine. That's what I'm trying.
Well, I'm also covered in soot, much like Daffy Duck. So
Did you just come down a chimney?
yeah, well, because the grenade blew up about this far away from my face. I'm gonna try and retreat back, and as I retreat back, I guess can I retreat and shoot behind me with my bolt gun? Is that too much of an action?
You can take a movement action and then you can attack, but then they'll be able to take a movement action and attack you. If you take your full action to move, they will not be in range to attack you.
Yeah, I'll do that.
That's
I'm really hurt, so I'm just gonna run away.
Okay,
I'm gonna run in with my Space Marine arms in the air,
Sir Robin.
So
Right away.
There goes the demigod.
That's my demigod.
Azrael, listening to Talev's command, retreats, tactical withdrawal.
Yeah.
The combat servitors lurch up, but they're still not able to get in range of anyone. We see Sister Nura on the ground holding Merrick's unconscious body. we see Sister Celeste bent over and suffocating. And Talib is outside the door. Who would like to do something?
Can I try and get Celeste functional? Can I see what's going on?
You absolutely can. All you need to do, because you can remote connect.
Okay.
Basically, all you got to do is try to connect with her augmetics.
Okay.
And it's a difficulty 4 tech test.
That's a way better plan than I had, because I was going to Temple of Doom into her chest and just see if I could.
or we could go that way. That's interesting.
I'm not Shiva.
We've made difficulty 4. You said.
What is it? Blood Eagle? Yeah, difficulty 4.
All right. I love Shiva. Temple of Doom. That's another complication, but I did get 4 successes.
You got 4 successes.
You squeeze her lungs and she starts breathing, but then you pop them.
Roll the complication. Let's just see what they come up with here. Everything I come up with is really me.
Physical mishap. I'm clumsy, or my tongue is tied, or I do or say something you didn't mean to, causing a problem.
I think so. What happens here is you're so
hurt
focused,
her feelings.
You're so focused on resetting Celeste's lungs that you basically take your entire turn to do it. So instead of having a movement action now, you're basically just fully focused. And Sister Celeste, you can breathe.
Yeah. I'll be like,
when
stay
you come
still,
back,
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. Stop fidgeting. God. Flesh.
Theme of the session, just stay put while we try to help you.
Sister Celeste.
Hi.
Birk, reset your lungs and you can breathe. At this moment, you're all far enough away from the combat servitors that you can withdraw. The lead doors are down, so the seconds tick by. Then you hear the alarm go off. All of the doors open wide, and you make your run out of the building. It's hard. You're tired. You're exhausted. Some of you are seriously wounded, but you're able to get outside just moments before the void shields slam closed around the Manufactorum. And then the entire sky lights up as effectively a dozen Hiroshima bombs go off within this void shield. But the shields hold, and the Manufactorum is completely destroyed. Outside, we see the Administratum adept, Skult, walk up, going, "You are under arrest for the destruction of Administratum property." And that is where we're going to leave it for tonight. I did not manage to kill anyone, even though I tried very hard.
I didn't manage to kill myself.
We gotta do the tombstone.
I would have had you. I would have had you if Talib had not successfully passed that willpower test, because he would have killed one of you.
That was a clutch roll.
Yeah,
I don't have high
would've.
willpower. Like it's just straight willpower, so it's 5. So it was like a really good roll. So,
But which one?
Yeah, I made a table. There's a roll table in there for who he would randomly attack when he was taken over, and he would
you roll
flat
it to
out
see
murdered
who
at
he
least.
would've-
oh, I could tell you exactly who Talib would attack.
Azrael?
I think they know who they are. The demigod.
The demigod who is almost dead himself right now. But
Only one of those in the party.
you all successfully got out of the Manufactorum, and because of Sister Celeste sending that message, all of the survivors got out
Look at
as
that.
well.
Very nice.
And we got.
So
Did Nura drag Merrick with her? Did
yep,
we get
you got Merrick.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
Merrick out.
Look at that, guys.
Magos Bast was taken out by the Enforcers. You got the Administratum team out.
I
So
did get a message out.
way better than the last
Erroneous.
mission.
you got a message out from Feronius. Other than the fact that the Administratum guy is currently trying to arrest you, which we'll handle in 2 weeks, it was almost a complete success. So
Do the tombstone
40
line.
experience points.
Whoa.
I'll go for it.
I want to do the tombstone line when he's like, you're under arrest. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to let you arrest us today. And then just walk past him. And then he arrests us anyway, but whatever.
So yes, 40 experience points. You guys will all now be in the next, almost to the final. set before
Crazy.
advancing to 4. Yeah. So, thank you everybody for playing tonight. Thank you everybody for watching tonight. Again, I'm sorry I did not kill anybody, but there's always next time. Other than that, Jeff, it's all you.
Do you really think we're gonna die to something cool, or if like Nura and I are gonna try and jump off something, break our legs?
I'm gonna jump and I'm gonna fall.
I think you should hang up your jetpack.
I don't know. If it wasn't for that horrible fall, Merrick might have got away.
And that is built into the jump pack of the falling damage and the shock when you fall and all of that stuff. So falling, jumping, anything involving gravity is just not something that any character that I play should ever attempt.
I just don't think you should do anything with verticality. Like no jumping, no climbing, no flying. Just stay terrestrial. All the time. It's better for everybody. You nearly got Justin killed.
I know, right?
Grenade came right for me. I was almost had a hard time getting out of the way.
The GIF you dropped in the chat was pretty funny.
Just the thought of this giant space marine looking up as this sister of battle comes crashing into him. Oops!
It's like I got him. What the fuck?
I just pictured like when the grenade went off, like his armor stayed still, but like inside he's like rattling like rapidly, and that's why he was so injured. It's like shaken baby syndrome.
You guys were throwing complications like nobody's business.
So many, man. It was ridiculous. Like I rolled at least 3, I think. I rolled at least 3 tonight.
Ton.
Yeah. Yep. It's just a D6, so we probably roll a lot of them if you think about it. Like you just got to roll.
Yeah, but you guys rolled a lot of complications, and I don't think you got any criticals.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think we did get any criticals.
Not a single wrath critical.
It was early if we rolled any. Like it's been a while. Scrolling.
I'm still looking. I've had this for a few minutes, and I still can't find one.
Yeah, that Justin almost died again.
Yeah. Again.
It's okay. You're a demigod. Maybe the next character you bring out will be an actual god this time.
Yeah, I'm essentially immortal.
Can I play the Emperor? Is that in the?
Oh my god!
Swaddled on his golden throne.
Space Hitler zombie? Hell yeah, let's go.
And the rest of us just wheelbarrow corpses to you, or bodies to you to devour.
So Azrael had one wrath. Oh no, that was last week. Nope, 0 wrath criticals this week.
Yeah, we had nothing.
Last session had a critical. This session 0 criticals.
Dice are step it up next time. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, somebody
I'm going to try harder next time.
Mike's right. Almost died means didn't die. So there's that. That's true.
Nope,
yeah. But everyone saw what you did with the grenade. So like it might have been better.
You will be judged forever.
Week after week, I'm really proving that demigod status.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like because you said that you
really cursed yourself. You really cursed yourself. There's no way that was going to be lived up to. Oh, goodness.
Everyone step back. Watch this. Oh, shit.
He goes, he uses his teeth to cock a
grenade. Through
pops his helmet off.
Hold on.
Drops the grenade down his ceramite armor. Oh.
No, that's not good. All right. Okay. So yeah, let's do some closing plugs. We'll get out of here. We'll start. Aaron, start with you. What's going on with Garblag?
So next week we should be back with some more. One of 3 shows will be back on next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll either see Jim back with some Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition, or we will be back with episode 2 of Imperium Maledictum, a great new show that is also Warhammer 40K based, so a lot of fun. Or we may be starting Combat Tales, World War II pseudo-realistic warfare. So any one of those could be fun on Wednesday. On Thursday, Pete will be back for his Stellar Mothership show. So definitely tune in for that.
Fantastic. As for us, nothing tomorrow. We are off this weekend for Call of Cthulhu. We have a couple people down. Then on Monday, we will back to Fragged Empire, where we will do various space shenanigans as well. Tuesday, we should be back for Frontier Scum. I think we've got our GM back in town, and so we can continue with that. And then Thursday is the 4th of July for us here in America, so no game next week on Thursday for us. And we will be back next Friday with more Delta Green. And in 2 weeks, we'll be back with more Wrath and Glory. And we can see whether or not Justin can ever earn the title of Demigod. I think I might update the overlay to just say Demigod. You know?
We got a chance.
Essentially
The next
Hercules.
adventure is the last adventure, and it's gonna be a doozy.
Okay.
I mean, if he earns it, he can get it. He's just got to earn it.
I gotta not fuck up once. Just one time, not fuck up.
You know, it's pretty
really
interesting.
kind
Like
of
Talos got that little spot in the back of his head. I wonder if the AI just found its way in there.
Yeah, I'm worried that.
No, actually, as the void shields slammed down, the Angus Aveman's entire contact with it disappeared.
Oh.
All of your armor went back to normal. Wickberg's leg went back to normal, and your thoughts processes were completely cleared from it. So it definitely was destroyed in the blast.
Okay. So
As
then
far
when
as you
I
know.
when I turn and attack Azrael, it's just Talov doing it.
Just
It's
for
not-
fun.
Okay. All right. We're going to raid our buddies over at Defenders of Cobalt. They're playing some Pathfinder 2nd Edition. So follow that raid. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Yep.
Bye.